Gonna work on a little project here. Just gonna make like a little hummingbird carving. Go through the basic steps. Kind of start out with a narrowed down chunk of wood. I have two knobs on either end, two branches. I save those because I might, the flower and maybe the wings here. But pretty much we're doing this sort of thing. Maybe kind of a big hummingbird. Little chest in there, and there's its tail. Right. Now a lot of people are going to say they can't draw. I would say to that effect, there is no can'ts, buts, or won'ts in the art world. You can draw, you just haven't practiced. You haven't taught yourself enough. Okay, so there's our flower, petals for the flower, something like that. A little bit more advanced of a piece as far as the tools that you will need. You will want some form of carving bar to do this effectively and be comfortable while doing it. You don't actually need a carving bar for this. You can do it without. It's just a lot trickier. And to the effect of that, I would say if you're going to do it without a carving bar, try to get a smaller bar for your saw. This is stock. This is how it comes from the store. The closer you can get to your hand. But right now we're just going to work with a quarter tip. And this is 3/8 pitch on a Makita saw. This saw is a stock saw. When I say stock, I didn't change the sprocket or anything. I just put this bar and chain on. The only thing you have to do there is get your chain cut to the proper length for this saw. So we're just going to go in and follow these lines that I made. And there too, every time I rough out, I'm trying to only make my lines first, not go too deep, because I don't know if I want to keep stuff in the back to support the piece. I want to leave that for now. I change my mind as I go. The easiest thing to do is get a square block of wood and start there. If you have the wood availability to do that, make square blocks for yourself. Personally, I like working out of square blocks. The wood cures better, it dries better for some reason. Well, I've talked a lot about wood. All my square blocks that I make come out to be really nice, soft, easy wood to carve, even if they're left outside in the drying racks. So proportions aren't exact, proportions aren't perfect. The wings, this wing is a little bit big right now for what it needs to be. Like I said, I bring all that down as I continue working. but you see it's the basic outlines of everything I have to do. And I kind of took my time, and the tail's not perfect, it's just to show me zoning in where I want to be. So this part under here is going to be hollow. We may use another tool for that eventually, but as we go in, we will keep working that area. So I know that my wings, I want them so they look like they're spread apart a little bit, and right now everything kind of tapers back. So I'm going to go in about 3/4 of the thickness of the log. I started out, I just bolted this down to a piece of plywood. You can either put screws through the plywood on your workbench, or use a clamp. I wanted to stabilize it where I can stick the light in there. So now it's not going to wiggle around as much. See too, the more I stabilize that, the faster it's going to cut here. The more solid you can make your piece for moving, the easier your cutting's going to be. Now, because I'm not sure if I'm going to make my support here or put it up here, if I can make the pedal touching the body, that's why I didn't cut in here too deep. You see, there's not very deep right in there. I'm going to leave that as I work on this and see if I can shape the head and the beak properly, and leave this and actually have the chest here so that I can make it look like he's actually in flight and not have to mess around with any of this. But I'm going to leave this for now. I can cut away just inside of it, because if it's going to be a support, it's going to be a thin curved piece that makes it look like some kind of wind type of thing. Now when you're cutting out these small pieces, be very careful, because you could have this happen if the piece bounces and deflects. Also the pieces can fly back and hit you pretty hard. So that's why I'm just taking my time with it and picking out manageable things, and I'm slowing down enough to let them break away as I'm cutting. See how I was very gentle? I could hear it. You could hear that kind of, it's getting thinner and thinner. I knew it was going to break away. It broke away off of up in here. That's where the other end of the art comes into play, is learning how to flick things off and get out of the way, and learning how to predetermine where things might break off, where things could happen. There's a lot of practice involved with that. I actually want to make a special video just based on that, because that's a safety thing. You see that? Even though I only cut once under there, I can still break that, because you get a feel for the wood. And you see how that one just went. Nice and easy. Now, after I get all that cut away, what I'm doing now, I'm just clearing it. I'm flattening it out a little bit so that I actually have like a We're just going to zone it in because I'm working primarily here at 3/4 view for now. Not being exact. You don't want to go too thin there. That's our only concern, because that's going to get cut in. This is going to kind of sit on all that. So that's where we need to decide whether support here is a good idea or not, because we don't want to stress here or up in here too much. See, and that was a little move. I was working off the top with the carving bar. It's a big advantage, working off the top of the bar, just slowly walking it in, letting the chain do its work. You want to let the chain do its work. You don't want to push it too hard. Now here's where I'm going to cut up behind, just where the wing meets the tail, because I might put another flower on the other side of this to hold the entire piece up, or to help brace it. I just want to leave enough meat for that. I'm trying to see through the piece, helps to see better. I'm trying to see through if the bird is all here, and then if I make a line here and have backdrop, another flower or something behind it to brace it, because then you have 1 and 2 legs, and I can make this, you know, I can make it look nice and thin and delicate, and I can do all that without actually losing the integral look of the piece, because this swoop thing, we would actually put it back here if I had more wood behind here to make it look like, ooh, like action. This is okay, but I'm gonna leave it in case I need it. But it's also gonna help as a brace as I'm working. It's gonna help keep the entire thing stable until I actually figure out what that end part's gonna be. Kind of difficult doing it this way. I kind of need it this way. You're not going to see exactly what we have going on. I still just have this big chunk up here that I'm trying to remove. See, now I showed you that because it was still pretty solidly attached here. That could have wound up hurting me. It could have deflected the saw. You saw the bounce a little bit, but I was ready for it. I was expecting it because I knew what was going on. But if you don't know what's going on and you do that, that could hurt. This guy coming back up in your face, man, I tell you what, it's happened to me a few times in the past, and it's really just practice. That's why you take your time. I'm getting a little bit faster as I go, which is my pace. I like to work at that pace. It's when you're not expecting it that it's bad. Right now I'm expecting this one to break loose. I felt it. I took out my glue too. That was good aim. I felt it. I felt it wobbling. I saw it wobbling. Boom, you know it's going to break loose, so you might as well get ready and hit it. Yep. Beginner carver with the right saw can do this project and do it pretty confidently. Pretty much not ever going to say that any project is not a beginner project. Well, I'll say it as I always do. Back when I began, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all this stuff to help us visually and lead us, you know, in the seclusion of our shop. You could have a TV and internet in your shop, or computer and internet in your shop, a screen, playing this while you're learning it. Which back in the day, you might have found a video or something of an old sculptor who used a chainsaw, such as Henry Moore or Stephen Nash. You know, and you can watch that video or even look in their books and figure stuff out. And if you grew up around chainsaws, it's easy. My first stuff was actually commissioned stuff. My first real chainsaw carvings. Boom, right off the bat, I got a commission because somebody saw my wood carvings that I had done by hand. I used to like making large stuff using hatchets and chisels, mallet and chisel and hatchet, and I would just carve big stuff. And somebody saw that and invited me to this big project, and it was great. It was a really cool way to start. So there's just the basics, the beginning. You see the shape is there, you see everything is there. We're going to continue this on to the next phases. I just wanted to get you guys started, give you a little something to think about.